Hey guys, Sam from Manfus Makes and
Moose Mike.
So welcome back to all our returners and hi to any newbies. It's so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while, and if you like what you see, give us a thumbie. They are free. So if you are new here, every Thursday at Manfus Makes we have a segment called
Tile of the Week Thursday.
And if you don't know what Tile of the Week Thursday is, in brief, a whole year ago, even slightly longer than a year ago, back last July, I was gifted this book in Happy Mail from my Amazon wishlist. We are not sponsored or affiliated. You can buy in all, not all, but probably many other good bookstores. 100 Crochet Tiles, edited by Sarah Callard. If you do buy the physical book, get it spiral bound because all the pages fall out and it is an absolute nightmare. Or get the ebook edition on Kindle or other electronic devices. That would be my advice. Anyway, we got it from my Amazon wishlist, and I, without thinking, said when I opened it that I am going to do all 100 tiles, one a week until they are done. Everyone on the YouTube streets who had clicked on before I had realised that that was going to take me the best part of 2 years, and we have had a couple of breaks as well, so it may even go over 2 years. Don't know yet until we get through it. But I had made that pledge and we have stuck to it apart from a couple of mini little breaks. So yeah, this segment has been going for over a year now. There is a whole complete playlist on it. I'm going to link that playlist down in the description box. If you want to see any of the prior tiles, please feel free. And also, if you would like to know who else is joining in with us, please put in the YouTube search bar hashtag Tile of the Week Thursday, and anyone who has used that hashtag, their videos and their content will pop up. This was not started as a crochet along, but we have some very lovely but crazy friends here on the YouTube streets who decided to join along with us. Some from the beginning, some part way through, and some only fairly recently. Some will be doing catch-up tiles, some will just be joining us from the point that they started onwards. That was never a requirement, but they wanted to, and it's brilliant having their love and support along the way. So if you want to find out who else is doing this with us, then do what I said and put it in the search bar. And also please check out my community tab after you have finished watching this video, because the fantabulous Josephine has also done this week's tile, plus a couple of catch-up ones. So if you would like to see her stunning work that she shares with us week after week, then please do go and check the community tab and give her a thumb and a lovely little supportive comment. I would really appreciate it. So I believe we are on week 53. So we are over the halfway point, guys. This week was called Popcorn Fantasy. It's never a fantasy for Sam if it's got popcorn in it. And the designer was Joanna Lindahl, or Johanna Lindahl. I don't know how she says her name. She requested 6 colours, which we both did. She requested a 4mm hook and a 4.5mm hook, which I believe Mike did in his Clover Moors. I actually did a 4.5mm hook and a 5mm hook because I used medium 4 or Aran weight yarn, not the lightweight 3DK that she suggested and that Mike used. So Mike used a 3 weight, I used a 4 weight. We adjusted our sizes accordingly. We did complete the tile, guys. Let me show you what it's supposed to look like. It is an absolute crowded middle of popcorns surrounded by 6 rows of moss stitch. Now, if you have been here since the beginning of Tile of the Week, you will know that earlier, much earlier in the book, there were a couple of tiles that used moss stitch. However, they were corner to corner, I believe, and Mike and I struggled so badly that we vowed that moss stitch was never going to be a stitch that we liked. Now that I have done it the traditional, I'm going to say flat rather than corner to corner, that's not the official term. But now that I have done it without it being corner to corner, I managed it without any issues this time, and I believe Mike managed it as well. I think you were a little apprehensive because before we started these rows, the comment that came out of Mike's mouth is, "Oh, I hate moss stitch, it never turns out right for me." So you'll see in a minute whether it did or not. And I said, let's just go with it. We're doing it in a slightly different way this time, so we might find it slightly easier. I hate popcorns, as you know. Well, actually, no, that's too strong a word. I don't hate popcorns. I just find them an unnecessary faff. They are yarn eaters, which is great if you're trying to bust through stash, but it's a slow going stitch. You have to put 4 double crochets in the same space, remove your hook, go into the 4th one, grab the last one and pull it through to make it pop out and popcorn. It's just a lot of stop, start, take your hook out, shove your hook in. It's not just like I like to do. I just like to blast through my stitches. I don't like all of this stop, start nonsense. And for me, I don't really understand the aesthetic of a popcorn. It's not the prettiest to me. Maybe it's because I don't care enough about mine and I don't do mine as neat as they possibly could be. I don't know, because Mike's is looking all right. When I look at mine, I'm like...
I don't mind popcorns either, to be fair.
I will do them when I have to do them. If I have particularly fallen in love with a pattern and they include popcorns, then of course I will do them. The same rule goes for bobbles and puffs. They're just not my cup of tea, guys. It's just a lot of work to make one stitch before you can move on. I like faster. Let it grow. Let it get bigger. Let's get it done. You know, like I've got too many pretty things to make. And all these big yarn eatery stitches that take forever just slow me down. So I'm not a fan. I do know there are plenty of you out there that love the popcorns, love the, I was going to say baubles. That's not the right word. Bobble stitches and puffs. Mike doesn't mind, like he said. I just want to crack on. It's just time wasting. It's too time intensive for me.
The one that's similar that I don't like is the bead stitch.
And see, but to me,
it's just a bigger bobble.
It's the same principle. You're putting a lot of stitches into one space and then doing something with the wrapping of the yarn to make it one stitch. You know, why cram all those double crochets into one space just to pull them all together and make them pop out? I mean,
and I think the problem I've got with the bead stitch is probably because I did it when I first started, and I wasn't very good
to do a
at
complicated stitch when you first start is A, daunting, but B, can be frustrating, because if you haven't had enough crochet experience under your belt, you don't quite know how to twist the hook so it doesn't keep snagging and getting caught when you're pulling through 8 loops on your hook or whatever it is.
I think I was using a bog standard. It wasn't like a clover or a pearls.
So now Mike has had a bit of experience and he's using the tools of his choice that he gets on well with. So I think if Mike was to attempt the bead stitch now, he might have a slightly different experience with it. But because it was so early on and he had just generic tools and he didn't have a lot of practice, it really put him off. And I can understand why those stitches would be off-putting to a newbie, to be perfectly honest.
And it was in a row that was like 275 stitches long. So
yeah, because it was a wrap.
It was a wrap.
But then Mike has been known that right from the beginning he's tried to run before he can walk.
But now look at me.
Yes, now look at you. And in certain ways it has set you in good stead, but in other ways it has kind of left a little bit of a tainted mark because you didn't build it up gradually like most of us do. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the tiles. So once again, this is what it's supposed to look like. Mike and I actually did this over the course of 2 evenings. The first evening we got the popcorn rows done. The second evening we got the moss stitch border done. And I'm so glad we did it that way, because I've just spent probably the most of this nearly 10 minutes telling you how much I dislike popcorns, that if I then had to try and put moss stitch on top of that, I might have just lost the will to live. So we split it in half, and also by splitting it in half, it meant we had a bit of time to watch our television programme that we're watching at the moment. It's not a new television programme, and actually it wasn't even television. We've got the DVD box set. Some of you are really not going to like it. Some of you are really going to love it. Some of you have probably watched it 10 million times over. But we're currently working through all the seasons of The Walking Dead. Now, I know that's a very niche, you know, television viewing. But I'm just being honest. We wanted to catch a few episodes because we very often get time to watch grown-up viewing telly. So.
And it's got to be my third, fourth time through it. So I've seen it many times, but
it still grips him like it's the first time. We just enjoy that, and don't judge us for it, just like we're not going to judge if it's not your cup of tea. Each to their own. And Mike and I get very little adult time in the sense of if the kids are around, it's got to be kid appropriate that's on in case they're in and out of the room or sat with us. We very rarely go out on dates, so it's not like we can go to the cinema or, you know, so when we have these little pockets of time, we really do try and grab them when we can to do what we want in that time. Anyway, I digress. You're not here to talk about The Walking Dead.
Although you first.
Although if anyone wants a conversation about it, let me know. We'll sort something. So yeah, for me, tedious, but nothing wrong with it. It didn't make me angry. It didn't make me frustrated. It was just tedious and a little bit boring for me.
For me, I actually enjoyed this one. It's the only one I can say, but I actually enjoyed it.
There's been a couple that we haven't minded.
I'm only exaggerating.
But that just shows how different people's tastes and enjoyment is within a craft, because I love making amigurumi. I don't like the sewing together, but I love making amigurumi. Mike is finding that he can, but he has to put all of his everything into it, and it's not something that maybe
I'm ready for.
Or even that comes naturally. Whereas give him a hug or a shawl to make, boom, flying, off he pops. So you each find your niche and you just plod on through the bits that aren't your thing. I don't like popcorns, and the moss stitch I find very boring. Mike didn't mind it. There you go. That's the difference between me and Mike. So you're going to show him yours? There are two different colours there. There is a bright red and there is a bright pink, but my camera is rubbish.
Pink, red, like a creamy. It's got bits of other like dots of colour in it, but can't really see them. Red, pink, that creamy colour again in the popcorn, and then you can't really see it because they're pretty much the same colour, but the row around is mushroom,
which is like a beige
a beige, and then light blue and dark blue. So there's 6 colours in there.
So Mike managed it absolutely fine.
If I do say so myself, this is probably the best looking tile I've done.
Me personally, I wouldn't put really bright in your face red and really bright in your face pink together. But again, each to their own.
But when you see it up close, it works. You can't see it on the camera.
In your opinion,
you
should never put red and pink together, in my opinion. Each to their own. I will take a picture of them. They will be on our community tab. Why don't you help us settle a debate? Does it look good together? Or are you in agreement that maybe they should have been put separately? Anyway, here's mine. Now, mine does have wool content, so if ever we do a can you rehome our tile segment again, be warned that this one has got wool in it. The purple around the edge and that creamy colour has got some wool in it as well. But mine is light grey, mustard yellow, raspberry pink, creamy, and then the purple. It's not a solid purple. It's like a purple and bluey twisted togethery colour. Technical. All so technical. Oh, and there is a red in there. I do apologise. There is one row of red. That last row gets lost, I feel. If you can see on this one, they did it in a very light colour after the popcorns. I did mine in the red, which gets lost against the pink. There you can see it. So maybe I should have done this creamy colour there. And I did debate it, but I didn't. And because Mike had cream in his slightly darker beige kind of gets a bit lost. But hey, we've got the exact number of rows, the exact number of stitches, and we have completed tiles a piece. So that is all that matters in this segment. You tune in to see, did we complete it? Did we like it? What's up next? So let's get to
see the prettiness.
Yeah. What's up next? Next is a tile called Frasera. Yes, I'm going to rip the page out because they fall out anyway. I mean, look. They just fall out. Don't come at me for damaging a book. It damaged itself. So it's called Fracera. I don't know that word. I would say Fracera personally, but I didn't write the pattern. The designer is Katie Moore. If you've been here a while, Mike and I are not fans of Katie Moore, and there are a couple of other people joining in that are not a fan of Katie. She is asking for 6 colours. She is asking for DK or lightweight 3 yarn, and she's recommending a 4mm hook. This one is 17 rounds. The one we just showed you was 12. This one is 17. Now, to me, since I first got this book, I said to Mike, there's a tile in here that looks like it's got boiled eggs on it. And he was like, what are you talking about? Let me know if you see boiled eggs. That's what I see. Sliced in half boiled eggs. And yes, look, lovely. Is it popcorns or bobbles? It's popcorns. We've got a 5 double crochet popcorn and a 4 double crochet popcorn. And then we've got your favourite picos.
Oh, no. She loves them. They're
loves,
in nearly every single one of them.
She loves her picos and she loves her popcorns or her bobbles, this one. So, next week could be fun. Now, I do have a friend, and she'll know who she is when she watches this episode, that when we did the last round of would you like to rehome some tiles, give me your address, I'll send them to you, she wanted to keep every tile that caused Mike and I frustration or anger because she thinks it's hilarious. She also kept them not in a negative way, but in a positive way, so that when she's down, when she needs a giggle or a smile and she knows the full story of the making of that tile, she can look at it and have a smile on her face and a giggle. This one is not one of those. Maybe next week's might be. So, friend who knows who she is, you might be getting another one added to your pile next week because it's got popcorns and picos and it's 17 rounds. So we shall see. It's sliced boiled eggs. Just tell me in the comments whether you agree. Anyway, like I said, I will put our playlist of tiles down in the description box. Please do come and join us tomorrow for Crochet Catch Up. What other little bits of admin do I have? There was a couple of things I needed to say. Saturday, it's a bit touch and go whether we're going to be able to go live or not, guys. I hope that we can, but it is my little nephew's birthday, so we might be busy celebrating with family. If that is the case, we will try and pop on maybe at a different time, or we'll just have to have, you know, an even better one next week if it has to be cancelled. So if you see one scheduled, you know that we're going. If you don't see one scheduled, just know that we are spending that time with family. Is there anything else? I know as soon as I click off, I need to say it. Read the description box just in case, because there might be some forgotten information that I need to put down there. If you want to see a bit of the English countryside, watch Tuesday's video. I take you for a walk if you haven't already seen that, and everyone that has watched it has really been thankful to see a bit of where I live. Yeah, so catch us tomorrow for Crochet Catch Up, and maybe catch us live Saturday night, but there is always daily content even if we can't go live. So make sure you click on every day to see what we've been up to. But we're going to rush off because I'm cooking the kiddies dinner that might possibly be burning right now. So I have to go. Until we see you again.
Stay safe.
Be kind.
Look after one another.
Get some good quality time in with your loved ones.
Get some good quality crafting time in.
We will see you in the next one.
Or around the YouTube sheets.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Love you loads.